Passion for Books. My name is Kim. Today I'm bringing you my final unboxing of the Used Books monthly subscription service. And again, this is what the box looks like. If you are interested in possibly looking into this box, I will leave all the information down below. I believe the box that I get is $14.99, and that is for 4 different books. And I will link also the playlist or other videos that I've done previously on this box down below as well. The reason I originally subscribed to this box is they use different libraries to source their materials excuse me, in order to keep books in rotation. The first box, it was okay. I liked, I think, 2 of the 4 books that was sent to me. The second month, not my favorite box, and this is my 3rd and final box. Watch this box probably be the best box out of them all, but I am giving it a break for a little while. I might go back later if it strikes an interest in me again, but for now I am putting it closed for now. So enough of that housekeeping business. Let's get into the books that were sent to me, and I believe this was the December payment, but the books come in January. So let's dive into these books. So again, like normal, I've clipped the tape to make the unboxing a little bit easier, and this is kind of how it comes in. Again, their wrapping is not the best, but as long as the books are in good condition, I don't care too much about it. So let me unwrap them all, and then we'll talk about them. So the first book that I got, this is Revelations. It's a True Bloods novel by Melissa De La Cruz. I think she is the author of the Vampire Academy books, and I think this is the spin-off series. I've not read any of the Blue Bloods series. I'm not sure if this is the first book of the series or not, and I'm trying to find that, but I don't see if it tells you that. So this may be a further book in the series. It just says it's one of the novels. So let's see what it's about. It says, I think it says, Culliver Van Allen's blood legacy has just been called into question. Is the young vampire in fact a blue blood, or is it the sinister silver blood that runs through her veins? As controversy swirls, Skylar, I think that's how it's supposed to be said, Skylar is left stranded in the Force household, trapped under the same roof as her cunning nemesis Mimi Force and her forbidden crush Jack Force. When an ancient place of power is threatened in Rio de Janeiro, however, the Blue Bloods need Skylar on their side. The stakes are high, the battle is bloody, and through it all, Skylar is torn between duty and passion, love and freedom. Romance, glamour, and vampire lore collide in a highly anticipated 3rd book in the best-selling author Melissa De La Cruz's Blue Blood series. So this is the 3rd book. I don't like jumping into series. Let me know down below if these books can be read out of order, because a lot of times you have to keep them in order to know what's really going on. But I like vampires, so I believe this may be considered YA books. So interested in reading this, possibly looking at the first 2 books to see if I want to read them before this one. So again, let me know down below if they're standalone books or if you need to read them in order. So that is a good book. The second book is Servant of the Bones, a novel by Anne Rice, another really great author. What was it? Interview of the Vampire. She wrote that series. So Servant of the Bones. A new saga begins, a major departure from the incomparable Anne Rice. Having created fantastic universes of vampires and witches, having chronicled the exploits of Lestat and the Mayfairs, she carries us now into new realms of the occult, the mystical, and the magical, and into the presence, now and through the centuries, of a dark and luminous new hero, the powerful, the witty, smiling Azrael, servant of the bones. He is a ghost, demon, angel, in love with the good and in thrall to the evil. He pours out his heart to us, telling his astonishing story when he finds himself in our own time in New York City, a dazed witness to the murder of a young girl called Esther and inexplicably obsessed by the desire to avenge her. He takes us back to his mortal youth in the magnificent city of Babylon, the gateway to the pagan gods, a wonder of ziggurats, shrines, and ships at anchor from all nations. We see Azrael at 20, a Jew, educated, rich, beautiful, fiercely devoted to his captive Hebrew tribe, and dedicated to his prophets, Jeremiah and Isaiah. In this time of bloody wars and religious upheavals, greedy kings and cunning magicians who vie with rabbis for spiritual dominion, Azrael falls victim to a royal plot compounded by his devotion to his Hebrew God, only to be plucked from death by evil priests and sorceresses and transformed into a jinni commanded to do their bidding. Challenging these forces of destruction, marshaling all his strength and wit to defeat them, Azrael embarks on his perilous journey through time, from Babylon's Hanging Gardens to the Europe of the Black Death to Manhattan in the 1990s. And ultimately to his crucial confrontation with the ambitious and charismatic multi-billionaire, the televangelist terrorist Gregory Belkin, father of the mysteriously murdered Esther, and the 20th century embodiment of all that Azrael has struggled against. As Azrael's quest approaches its climactic horror, he dares to use and to risk his supernatural powers in the hope of forestalling a world-threatening conspiracy and redeeming at last what was denied him so long ago, his own eternal human soul. Alright, so again, she is a great author. I haven't read a ton from her, but I have seen a lot of the movies based on the Interview of the Vampire series. So, curious about that one. This actually, I did a video on my original authors. This is Joanna Lindsay, A Rogue of My Own, and I'm not sure if I have this particular one. So this is what this one looks like. So it says, for Lady Rebecca Marshall, a whirlwind of excitement begins when she becomes a maid of honor at the court of Queen Victoria. But when Rebecca unknowingly steps into the rivalry between the Queen's spy master and a noble woman who uses the maids as courtly spies, she is soon entangled in a web of deceit and the charming Marquis Rupert St. John. The devastatingly handsome ne'er-do-well is the cousin of Raphael Locke, with whom Rebecca was once infatuated. He's also a secret agent of the Crown who leads a double life. Certain that guileless Rebecca is spying on him, Rupert seduces her, and then forced to wed, he believes she has set a trap of the worst sort in order. I cannot read the underneath it. So again, this is a historical romance, intrigue, spies, all of that. I don't think I've actually read this one out of all of her works. I don't think I have, because it does not sound familiar. And I've read a ton of hers. So I'll be curious to check this one out, because I thought I read a majority of her books, but this one apparently escaped my notice. So pretty cool. And this one I know is being all over the television. It's actually been turned into a movie. So definitely kind of intrigued me a little bit. Definitely a horror story. So this is The Turning, a story of the living dead by Kelly M. Hudson. It's definitely creepy looking. You got a skull, you got blood, all of that. So that is definitely creepy. Alright, it says, The Dead Walk. And no place on earth is safe from their ravening hunger. Civilization falls, leaving groups of struggling survivors to navigate a world that has descended into hell. Jeff Richards is one such survivor. He and his lover Jenny flee their home in the Bay Area and take a perilous journey through Northern California into Oregon, seeking shelter in rural areas to avoid both the living dead and that most treacherous animal of all, their fellow humans. But can a man who has lost everything, including his humanity, ever be reborn? When the dead walk, will any of us survive, or will we join the ranks of the undead to forever walk the earth? Not what I was taking this to be, because in the previews of the turning it seemed more creepy children-esque like. So maybe they didn't show this part, or maybe this is just a coincidence in the name. I don't know. So definitely interested in reading this, so it will come up later in the year for my TBR. Check out my rolling TBR project if you're curious about how I'm getting all of these books read. But anyways, like I said, this happens to be my most interesting box, and it happens to be my last box that I ordered, so that is kind of ironic. But again, getting 4 books every month has really expanded out my TBR. Getting 4 books every month from this particular service, as well as the Bookcase Club, which gives me 2 books, that's 6 books per month, it's really expanded out my TBR bookcase that I have going on right now. I have almost 2 full bookshelves on that 3 bookshelf case, and that's a lot of books right now. I'm close to 60 books now with additional of these new 4 books, but that's kind of where I am right now. That's one of the reasons I did decide to stop this particular service, is just bringing in too many books. And like I said, the first one was an okay box, the second one was my least favorite, and of course, ironically, the third box has been the best out of all of them. But that's the thing with book subscription services, unless you have ones that you can actually select the books you're getting, you don't know what they're going to be. And I kind of like that mystery. It is a risk because you don't know if you're going to like the books. But this one is mostly paranormal, 2 books, a horror book, and a romance, historical romance book. So pretty much everything in this box is up my alley, but some of the previous ones were not. So I did make that decision to cut it. But it doesn't mean I can't go back later and renew my subscription service if I get my bookcases down to at least 1 shelf and around more like 10 books versus 60 plus now. That is my goal this year, is to try to cut it down to at least no more than 10 books or thereabouts. A little bit more manageable than it just continuing to build and build and build until it's way out of control. So anyways, I hope you have enjoyed my sharing of what this box held for me this time. And until my next video, I hope you have a good one. Bye!